Good afternoon or good morning, whatever it feels like. Welcome to A.I.W Summerslam reactions. Kronus, we're finally awake.
Yeah, after that fairly long show comparatively.
Yeah, I feel like the opening Skyrim scene that you just mentioned.
Hey, you're
Finally awake. Yes, very disruptive sleep, should we say? Got to sleep just after, let's say 5 o'clock. I was sat in my lounge and I was so tired. I just let it play through and watch some of the press conference.
Oh yeah.
SummerSlam in the books. We're going to talk about our reactions. I thoroughly enjoyed myself throughout the night. Thought it was a really good show. Best SummerSlam I've seen in years. Just overall enjoyed from start to finish. How about you?
Yeah, it was pretty solid. Nothing I'm too upset about. Some good developments. So good show.
Yeah, I think it accomplished everything that I wanted to see. I think predictions wise, I think I got the Priest Gunther match wrong, but I wasn't upset about how it ended. I was just a bit hurt pride wise because I couldn't get a full house for once.
We did get shafted, I think.
Yeah, not a good night for Kronus. I think Jeff did okay, but I'm taking the gold home this time, I think.
Reveal them at the end.
Yeah.
Who won?
Yeah, we'll do who won the predictions at the end. But yeah, to me, it felt like a throwback show. Kind of to when I used to watch wrestling when I was a kid, because, you know, I was excited going in. I thought the stories they'd been telling going in were pretty strong. And just had a really good time, enjoyed myself, which, you know, for a long time we couldn't say that about WWE.
Yeah, and that's really all we really want from wrestling. It's just a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and obviously everyone's good time is subjective, and that's fine. So for me and what I expect and what I want from wrestling, I had a good time. And I think SummerSlam was a pretty significant show because when you look at it, you had 4 title changes.
Mm-hmm.
You had a breakup of a 2-year-old faction who have been dominating TV for all that time.
Yeah,
and we've
huge.
And we've had the return of who is now the biggest babyface in the entire industry. So for me, in terms of the impact it's going to have on TV going forward, it felt like a WrestleMania in a way because of how much change happened and how much they shuffled the deck. I don't think it felt like a WrestleMania going in and during the show, but the outcomes and how different everything looks now, it definitely feels like a massive shift in programming going forward. So on Raw, for example, you've got a new world champion, you've got a new intercontinental champion. We've got no more Judgment Day, which is crazy because that's all we've seen for 2 years.
Yeah.
SmackDown, we've got a new women's champion. And we've got Roman Reigns back as a babyface, an over babyface for the first time ever. So I don't know what his schedule is going to be like. I assume he'll be on SmackDown.
You think so?
He is technically a free agent because he wasn't drafted. So I guess now the goal is how they tackle the rest of the bloodline. For example, Jey Uso being on Raw and Sami being on Raw, how they get them over to SmackDown, if that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll figure something out.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, a lot happened. It was a newsworthy show. And we kicked off Kronus with Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship.
We did, yeah. What was a pretty good match, surprisingly.
I wasn't expecting it to be a banger. I don't think it was a banger per se, but I enjoyed what they did. I think Rhea doing her shoulder coming out thing. I was always wondering, is this real? Is this actually happening, or is this them kind of?
It kind of look it, especially after the initial sort of slam in the corner.
Yeah, her shoulder did look a bit odd. I was wondering if they were running an angle because, in reality, a match between Rhea and Liv is no contest.
Yeah,
and there's no real reason Liv should have any chance of beating Rhea Ripley. So I was wondering if they were running an angle to kind of make Rhea look a bit weak, so it looked more realistic that Liv had a chance.
Yeah.
But we knew what this match was all about. And I think it had a predictable ending. And I think a lot of the show was predictable. A lot of people seem to get, like, high number of predictions right. But I don't think predictable is bad as long as it's good.
Yeah, if it's done well, then
Yeah,
it's fine.
I would rather it be predictable and good than unpredictable just for unpredictable sake and not making sense.
Yeah, and just not hitting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've never really used kind of predictability as a negative. Sometimes it is, but I think in this instance, like I said earlier, everything I wanted to come out of this show pretty much happened. I prayed for this and it happened. So yeah, they ran an angle with either that or Rhea legit hurt and she had her shoulder pop out, and Rhea's always been an amazing seller, and that's why I was kind of confused.
Yeah, I mean, either way, if it's selling, she did an amazing job, and if it's IRL, actually popped out and back in again, then even more kudos.
She's an absolute beast, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we can all acknowledge, that there are very few things wrestling fans agree on, but I think we can all agree that Rhea Ripley's great.
Yeah,
everything she does. Yeah, she's great in the ring, great talker, great character. Her facial expression at the end of this match, which we'll get to in a moment, was great. There's a video of her crying through the back on social media afterwards, and she did a more convincing crying job than Liv did. But the story of this match was, and always has been, and always will be, Dominic Mysterio. And a lot of the predictions were Dom was going to turn on Rhea and side with Liv. And that's exactly what we got.
It is.
So I thought the match had some good moments. Liv hit a really good crucifix bomb.
Yeah, that was cool.
And a really nice DDT. And I don't think there's anyone better at the moment, in WWE at least, at selling a DDT than Rhea Ripley. Like, she loves spiking her head for those DDTs, doesn't she?
She does.
Looks great. Yeah, the story, whether it was a story of the shoulder being out, Rhea bashing it into the announce table, bashing it into the turnbuckle, realizing it's popped back in Liv's face when she realizes that Rhea's kind of, back to full strength. Yeah. Rhea let her emotions get the better of her towards the end of the match. She grabbed a steel chair. They did that classic spot where you hoist the chair back over your head and someone grabs it.
Yeah.
And Dom grabbed it, and at first I was like, Dom, what are you doing? And then I thought to myself, wait, Dom's right. If Rhea uses that, she doesn't win the title.
Absolutely.
So at this point, Dom's done nothing wrong. This causes a distraction. Liv hits the Oblivion, and I was really worried that was going to be the end, because I didn't want Dom to accidentally cost Rhea, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I thought might happen.
Yeah.
Dom trying to help Rhea, but inadvertently helping Liv.
Yeah, because as much as, a lot of people have enjoyed this story and it's been, highly viewed on TV, I don't think I want to see more kind of open-endedness at all. Is Dom going to do this? So yeah. Rhea kicked out of the Oblivion, which I thought was the right move. And then Dom slid the chair in for Rhea Ripley to do another Oblivion on the chair with the ref's back turned. And then as soon as she hit the Oblivion, Dom jumped down from the ring apron. And that's when you knew. And then Dom smiled. Liv got the 1, 2, 3. And then they had a very passionate kiss at ringside.
Very.
Dominic Mysterio's wife is the strongest woman in the world, by the way. Fair play to that woman. And they've only recently just got married as well. So I don't know what kind of conversations they've had. He's like, all right, love, I've got something to tell you. Something's come up at work. Oh, what is it? What is it? Well, Liv Morgan. Yeah. I'm going to go out with her and kiss her a lot on TV. I just can't imagine how that conversation goes down. He's like, honey, it's work related, I promise. But yeah,
scripted.
Scripted. It's fake. It's a fake kiss. It's a gimmicked kiss, as the kids say.
Give me a kiss.
Give me a kiss. So we had the full turn of Dominic Mysterio. Rhea's reaction in the ring was very, very good, very convincing. I think.
Cinematic.
Yes, it was a Scorsese meme. Insert Scorsese meme here. I used that meme a lot last night.
You did.
I only used the absolute ass version for the jelly roll segment, which I guess we'll talk about, unfortunately. But yeah, I think this kind of it's a firm new direction for the story. So Dom's made his mind up, and I guess we got another chapter of that story later on in the night with Finn and Priest.
Yep.
So I think we'll wait till then, until we discuss the future of the, I guess now Judgment Day, or
yeah,
I guess Raw will tell us more than what tonight did. But yeah, Liv retains the Women's World Champion. I think kind of giving Liv a little bit of credibility with the title was probably the right move, rather than just take it off her straight away just because Rhea's back. I
mean, I picked Rhea because it's Rhea.
Yeah.
But I'm not upset with the result.
No, exactly, and that's the thing about predictions. It's what you think's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's the opposite to what the Cultaholic boys say. It's not what we want's going to happen. I'm not going to do the rest because I might get copyrighted.
Yeah,
but yeah, when Liv retains the title, Dom is fully folded now. And yeah, I guess it you know, for those who like this story, which is a lot of people, it builds excitement for Monday Night Raw.
Totally, yeah. I want to see what happens next.
Yeah, it's like this. It was like a season finale, wasn't it?
Yeah, almost.
Yeah, it's definitely a television show. Next match. What do we have next? Was it Bron Breakker, Sami Zayn, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Bron Breakker versus Sami Zayn, number 2 for the Intercontinental title. I guess we all expected. I think this is probably the second most predictable match on the card.
Yeah.
Right decision. Bron Breakker is your new Intercontinental champion. Thought the match was quite short.
Yeah, it was.
I was speaking to a friend. I was speaking to PW Bites about this, and we kind of felt similar, where I think I was probably expecting a lot more from this match itself. It was quite short. Not really a lot to it. Bron wins. And I asked you yesterday, like, does Bron squash Sami Zayn, or do we get like a Cena Lesnar style thing?
Yeah.
And given the length of the match, I kind of wish they did that.
What, just had Breakker just batter Zayn?
Yeah, let's have Bron kill him completely. Yeah.
Drag it out.
Yeah, I think we got to the right decision here. But yeah, Summit just didn't really feel... I don't know whether I was expecting too much. It just didn't really feel that memorable in terms of match itself, I guess.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean, yeah. It was good enough.
Yeah, it was fine.
Nothing huge.
No, definitely. There were definitely better matches on this card. But we got to the right decision. Bron is, he's 26 years old.
Yeah.
He's only been on the main roster for a few months, and he's already holding probably the most prestigious mid-card title. And he's got a lot on his shoulders now. He's got he was on the press conference and he spoke. He sort of broke character a little bit, but he spoke really well. And he was just saying that he's happy for the opportunity. He's going to give it his best. He's going to, try and carry that title. And he mentioned, Gunther and Sami having good reigns and stuff. So I think he gets the business. He's got the right attitude. He's only going to improve. He's already got explosive athleticism. He's great on the mic. And he'll evolve his in-ring work to be more well-rounded over the years. And yeah, looking forward to seeing what he does with the IC title.
Yeah, totally. Hopefully Path of Destruction type booking.
Yeah, and we spoke yesterday about how stacked that division is.
Yeah.
Oh, and Ludwig Kaiser's back on Monday Night Raw. He's facing Sheamus.
Oh, nice.
So,
assuming that rivalry.
Yeah. Yeah, he had some broken ribs, didn't he? So he's back. So, yeah, and he's also somebody I'm very excited for going forward. Mr. Kaiser.
Indeed.
But yeah, I thought it was okay. I think I was just expecting too much because they're both really good. I'll be interesting to see what Sami Zayn's next move is.
Well, we reckon Bloodline, don't we? So,
well, they've got a pinfall. Yeah, him and Jay have got a pinfall victory over the tag champions. If I know WWE, I know that means they get a title shot.
It is written.
It is written. But yeah, that was the Intercontinental title. Nothing too much to write home about, but again, right decision was made.
Yep.
Next up, we had Logan Paul versus LA Knight. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. For the United States Championship. This was a lot better than I thought it would be. I enjoyed myself more than I thought I would. I actually, in my head, this and the Bron Sami match were switched in terms of how much I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought they both worked really well together. LA Knight destroyed the Prime truck before. Did one of those intros coming through the back. Logan Paul came out with everyone's favorite drummer, Machine Gun Kelly.
Water Pistol Kelly.
Water Pistol Kelly, yeah. Fisher Price Kelly. I believe he's from Cleveland as well, so it's, how many celebrities can we fit in this hometown?
So it's their fault, basically, in the state of society.
It's Cleveland's fault, yes. We blame Cleveland. I want to say this one was predictable, but there was an air of uncertainty. I think because of how bad it would have been if Logan Paul had won.
Yeah.
I think that's what made it worrying. Like, if Sami Zayn won, you'd be annoyed, but you'd think, oh, it's Sami Zayn. If Logan Paul had won here, I think I would have opened Twitter to errors all morning.
Yeah, I would have actually opened Twitter and posted.
Yeah, exactly. That's not something you do.
Not often.
You would have written an angry letter. But that didn't happen. We had some shenanigans from Logan Paul's boys, his Prime boys.
Yeah.
Who tried all sorts. We had use of Prime. I think they love to destroy the Prime stuff because everyone goes, yeah, destroyed Prime, but it also gets Prime on TV, so it's a win-win.
Yeah. Gets involved, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, they could literally just have an entire segment about how everyone hates Prime, but all it's doing is exposing Prime to millions of people. So
yeah,
it's a good thing they got going there for money purposes. Also, I saw before the pay-per-view there was more sponsors in the ring.
Yeah, like in the corners.
Yeah, but I honestly didn't notice them at all. Like, when you look at the ring from a bird's eye view before the show, you think, God, that looks awful.
Yeah.
But when I was watching the show, at not one point during the entire show did they catch my eye. I don't know what it is. I guess it's a good thing. But
yeah. I mean, we weren't on air at the time, I think, but when they brought in the Prime ring sponsorship, I was a bit annoyed.
Yeah.
But I think I'm over it.
Yeah, it's
that reason.
It's just it's a multi-billion-dollar corporation making money. It's just something we have to live with, unfortunately. But during the show, I didn't notice it at all. Didn't cause a distraction. That's all I asked for. As long as it doesn't distract me from watching the show.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, solid work from these guys. Logan Paul, he hit a crazy springboard to the outside where he was...
Yeah, that moonsault was really cool.
Yeah, because he was facing the ramp and then he jumped and then turned mid-air into a moonsault, acai moonsault position. And then delivered a really nice moonsault.
Yeah.
He's definitely got the bag for a guy who's been doing it for 2 years. It was actually his debut 2 years ago in SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think he's always been very reliable. I'm glad he's not the champion anymore, just because, we need that title to be... It's not where it needs to be, essentially. And I think with him being so absent, someone like LA Knight's going to defend it regularly. And LA Knight will have a good story with, a broom. So I'm happy that LA Knight gets the win. Logan Paul was handed a chain. He was on the ring apron. LA Knight tries to engage. Logan kind of jabs him with the chain, doesn't full swing him. So he like stuns Knight more than anything.
Yeah.
He goes for the buckshot lariat. LA Knight ducks and counters very fluidly. BFT 1, 2, 3. I thought Logan Paul's foot was under the rope for a second.
Yeah.
It looks very close, but I don't think that was deliberate. So I'm hoping they don't run that back.
There were a couple of other spots as well that I noted.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of prettiest elbow drop ever that LA Knight did.
Oh yeah, do like his elbow drop.
That was really cool. And that superplex.
Oh my god, yeah. I thought Logan Paul's going to die.
Yeah, it looked really bad.
It did, yeah. Because you can see he lifts him for the suplex, and then halfway through the journey of that suplex, he doesn't follow through. And it just stagnates in midair, and then at the last minute he propels like a couple of feet more. And thankfully no damage done, but that did look very, very dangerous.
Like slow motion almost.
Yeah. And you know when LA Knight does that run and he jumps in one to the top rope.
Yeah.
I always worry when I see that as well. Because
Angle used to do it, didn't he?
Yeah. It's so easy to mess up. Bron Breakker does it. But LA Knight's in his 40s. He's not a spring chicken. It's very impressive that he does it. But I think I saw him screw it up once and he fell quite awkwardly. So now ever since then I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, careful.
Yeah. But I thought it was a good match. Again, right decision. At this point you could tell, there's a shake-up happening here. Both mid-card titles have now changed hands. And then we ended up with, what was next? It was
Nia and Bayley.
Nia and Bayley. Again, I actually enjoyed this match. Wasn't really too excited going in. I enjoyed what they did. I thought the powerbomb from Bayley was awesome.
Yeah, really good.
I think Bayley's run has been meh, to be honest. And I wasn't too disappointed to see her lose it, because if she'd won, it's like, well, what does she do next? Bayley is a face ever since the hugger gimmick, which obviously she doesn't have anymore. She's not really an underdog anymore, is she? Because she's probably going to go down as a Hall of Famer, one of the best.
Yeah, surely.
So I don't really know what character she has as a babyface. So I think her losing the title here, I wasn't too upset with. Nia Jax. I mean, what can we say about Nia Jax? Her last run, I was just generally, as a lot of people, just unimpressed. Thought she was annoying. Didn't think she could work. Thought she was dangerous. She was just channel changing television. And then when she came back, I thought the same thing. But I've been really impressed with Nia Jax. I think she's more tolerable on the mic. She's really kind of worked on her mic skills. She sounds a lot more natural. She looks a lot more dominant. I thought her performance in the Queen of the Ring was really good. I really like this dynamic with Tiffany Stratton. And I think, her winning the title here, I got no problems with it. I think it'll be good fun, especially with the Tiffany element.
Yeah.
In terms of who she feuds with on SmackDown babyface wise, don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. But some good spots here. The powerbomb, Bayley lifting Nia off the turnbuckle on her shoulders and then walking to the middle of the ring was crazy.
Yeah.
Tiffany did try and cash in. Well, I think it was more of a distraction for Bayley, to be honest.
Yeah.
Bayley actually kicked out of the Annihilator as well.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting choice.
Yeah. And then Tiffany with the distraction. Bayley, I think, goes to attack Tiffany through the ropes. And then Nia just delivers two pretty brutal power bombs.
Yeah.
And then two Annihilators. And that is game over, I'm afraid, for Bayley. But and then we got some little celebration with Tiffy in the ring. And at that point, I think with this briefcase and the fact they're selling it, they're not going to cash in for a long time. Because they're going to make a lot of money on that briefcase.
Yep.
I think it's
an accessory.
Yeah, $115, I think, for the briefcase.
Oh, wow.
So, and they're already selling very well, apparently. So I would imagine Tiffany holding that for a very long time, but I ultimately think she cashes in on Nia Jax.
Yeah, gotta be.
So for that reason, I can see Nia Jax holding the title for quite a bit. And why shouldn't she? I mean, she's been booked as this dominant force, one queen in the ring, beats everyone, beat Bianca Belair, beat Bayley for the title. They're probably the two best workers on SmackDown. So
yeah, I mean, to what you said about Nia Jax once it was you didn't even have to try to find a bad thing to say about her, but now it's really difficult to find something bad to say about her.
Exactly, yeah. I think it's a hell of a transformation, and fair play to her. They've obviously worked together. I think she's leaned into a lot of the criticism. She sounds a lot more natural. I'm happy for her. I think we don't want people to be bad.
No.
If somebody is bad and they work hard to get better, then I massively respect that. So fair play to her.
Hell yeah.
Next up, we had Charles Montgomery Punk versus Drew McIntyre with Seth, as you called him, Refereeking Rollins, which I thought was good. Might copyright that.
Yeah, let's do it quick.
This one was a very polarizing one on social media. So let's start with the criticism. I want to address the criticisms of this match that I've seen. Seth being the referee seems to be the biggest one. I do get it. I get that people wanted CM Punk and Drew to just have a one-on-one blood feud, and I agree. In that regard, I don't think Seth Rollins was necessarily needed in this match. I can see why Seth was in the match, given what transpired. Because Seth did a lot of turning his head to let things go. Seth was involved with both of them. He was kind of creating heat with both of them. We did get serious Seth Rollins, which is what I wanted. I've always wanted serious. I don't like dancing, singing, wearing gazebos Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
I like angry, serious, emotional torture Seth Rollins. And we did get some of that. I do think he took a bit away from the match, and I think there was a lot of focus on him, whereas this feud has been building between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre for 6 months. So I was a bit torn on it when the match took place. What were your thoughts on the Seth Rollins part of this match?
Leading up to it did feel almost sort of shoehorned in.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he's got beef with both, legitimate beef with both. But, as you said, the whole build was Punk and Drew. What we wanted was Punk and Drew.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we still get that. That's my thing.
Yeah, I think we will.
Yeah.
I don't think this is over at all.
Yeah, and I think we have to... From CM Punk perspective, there's a lot of people who don't like CM Punk because he left a certain company and there's animosity there. We get that. And there's a lot of people that will shit on anything that involves CM Punk just because it's CM Punk's involved in it. And there's a lot of people who hope he gets injured again. And I think CM Punk knows that more than anyone.
Yeah.
And he's coming off a very, very long, unfortunate injury. And I imagine he was incredibly nervous for all those reasons going into this match. So was I expecting, a 5-star classic? No, I wasn't. Punk got through the match uninjured. I thought he looked okay for somebody with that much ring rust. He looked fine. I thought the match was good. Again, it might have been victim of expectations maybe, but I think all things considered, I definitely enjoyed it. I think that the Seth, I want to talk about the bracelet a bit. I've also seen a bit of criticism about the bracelet, and I know you can argue that it's two men fighting over a bracelet, but it's not two men fighting over Mitch the houseplant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like one man's trash is another man's treasure. And it's been told to us very clearly how much AJ and Larry mean to CM Punk.
Yeah.
In WWE, in AEW, it's transcended wrestling. Those are the two most important things in his life. His wife and his dog. And he had that bracelet made by somebody for him. I think a fan made it for him.
I think so.
and it's his kind of, emotional attachment thing. And obviously Drew knows that. Drew took it when he attacked him. And my favorite bit in the match was just Seth Rollins having it on his wrist.
Yeah.
I thought I actually thought, I had an emotional reaction to that moment because I know how much, whether it's a bracelet or whether it's a piece of scaffolding, it doesn't matter. It's what it meant to the person involved.
Yeah.
No one cares about my cat, but I love my cat. My cat means a lot to me. It doesn't mean a lot to anyone else. But yeah, Seth having the bracelet on and CM Punk's reaction. Obviously, it's a dick move by Seth because he didn't need to do that.
Well, could you argue he was just sort of picking it up, getting it out of the way?
Potentially, yeah. I don't know. Well, I guess whatever the hell Seth's wearing has pockets. I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not. You could argue that, yeah. But I think that's what made it great, wasn't it? Because if CM Punk sees that on his wrist, CM Punk's only going to think one thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, you already hate me, so you're doing this out of spite. I think building Seth and Punk in this match was accomplished. I think the problem is a lot of people didn't want that to be achieved in this match. If that makes sense. A lot of people didn't want Seth involved at all. I think if you're asking me, I would have preferred Seth not involved at all, if I'm being honest. Purely because it's a one-on-one feud for 6 months between two guys. But what we did get, I thought was okay. CM Punk attacking Seth Rollins is obviously a big moment. And when they do that feud, I know they were supposed to feud at this year's WrestleMania. But obviously next year's WrestleMania is a long way away.
Quite a bit.
So I genuinely don't know where we go from here with CM Punk, Drew, Seth Rollins. I guess we'll find out. They're all appearing on Raw, I think. So I guess we'll get some answers. But Drew McIntyre wins is the most important thing.
Yeah.
That's the most important result. I think he needed that more than anyone.
Definitely, yeah. And it keeps it going.
Yeah. So Drew McIntyre hits a Claymore after a Seth Rollins referee was knocked down. Punk was distracted. Drew hit a Claymore. And Seth did the reluctant pin and storms off, much like Shawn Michaels in 1997. But yeah, the match came and went. I thought it was okay, given the circumstances. Obviously, I hope it's not over. We can keep enjoying it. But next up, we had the World Heavyweight title.
Yes.
Damien Priest defending against Gunther. I think you and me said this was the most unpredictable match on the card.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Yeah, and I think it was the best match on the card.
Yeah, for me it was.
By a mile. These guys beat the shit out of each other.
Really did.
Yeah. This was one for the sickos, I think. One for the purists. one for the cage match guys.
Yes.
I was very happy actually because Cage Match rated this match quite highly, so I felt like I was allowed to enjoy it. More on that later this week. No, this was great. I think Priest really showed out here. Yeah, his those early forearms to Gunther, they were stiff as hell.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're going to be in the ring with Gunther, you need to bring it. But yeah, it was just physical. Two big guys. Gunther's not as big as he used to be, but he's still a stacked tall guy. Priest is over 6 foot. He's built. They can both do great things. It's some lariats, power bombs, going to the top rope. We had all sorts of stuff here, and everything looked like it really, really hurt. Gunther was bleeding from the chest. He already had some like pre-existing welts, I think, from the match with Finn, maybe.
Yeah.
So he already, I was read, he was kind of bloodied up a bit.
Yeah, he had a bleeding boob.
Bleeding boob, yeah. And he seemed to, when he saw the blood, he seemed to kind of use that to, propel the match a bit more and become a bit more intense, which I liked.
Yeah, amped him up.
Now, we were all thinking, as soon as we saw the Dom thing with Liv, we were thinking, okay, so Dom's turned on Rhea. Now it's another time for a turn. And then all of a sudden, we see Finn Balor just appear at ringside. I don't know where he came from. He was just there all of a sudden. I think I looked away and looked back and he was just there.
Yeah, he did just sort of appear.
Yeah, I think he came from behind the commentary desk, a little bit where they jump in by the ring announcers bit.
Oh, yeah.
And we thought to myself, but that's it. Judgment Day's gone. This is it. And eventually, and you saw it because Damien hit a couple of moves. He hit his big Falcon Arrow.
Yeah.
Broken Arrow. And then he hit the South of Heaven Chokeslam. And then he did that massively telegraphed thing where he's like, I'm going to roll him right next to the ropes.
Yep.
It's like, okay. And then, 1, 2, and then Finn puts Gunther's foot on the rope. And then you just see Finn looking down, staring away.
There it is.
Oh, yeah. And you messaged me, didn't you? Like, oh, shit.
Pretty much, yeah.
This is it. And it's a big moment, I think, because I think Judgment Day had no right to be as successful as it was when it first started. They've held Women's World Title, Tag Team title multiple times, NXT North American title, World Title. They've held everything. And they've been a staple of television for 2 years. And this is basically the end of it, or the fragmentation. A moment I really liked, and I kind of hoped this is how the match ended, was after Priest realizes that Finn screwed him, he tries to go for him, and then Gunther puts him in a sleeper. And then Finn is staring at Priest as he's passing out. I really liked that moment, and I sort of wish that's how it ended. But they kind of, did it again, and basically the same thing happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, the end of the Judgment Day, Gunther is the new World Heavyweight Champion.
As we know it, yeah.
Yeah, and if we know anything about how much Triple H loves Gunther, you can say goodbye to anyone coming near that title for a long time.
Yeah, it has to be done.
Who do you think he faces in his first defense? I've got no idea.
No, not a clue.
I have no idea.
But
I feel
I'm sure it'll be epic.
I feel like all the best wrestlers on Raw are in the Intercontinental title scene
At the moment.
I don't know. Maybe he faces like Sami Zayn or something, and then he beats Sami, revenge for WrestleMania. I don't want to see Jey Uso fight for the World Heavyweight title. I don't want to see that. But yeah, I really don't know who he faces on Raw, because Raw seems to have put all their eggs in the IC title basket. Dragunov, Breaker, all those kind of people.
Yeah. No. Whoever it is, though, I'm sure it'll be suitably brutal.
Yep, absolutely. Gunther always had good matches. Apart from the one with Drew McIntyre, which I thought was weird. That was last SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Bit of a letdown, that one. So, in terms of where we go from here, Judgment Day.
Yeah.
There are a few things that were floating around my head. Obviously, I think there's a bit of bloodline housekeeping to take care of before Jey Uso gets involved, I think. So Jey Uso had this thing with Rhea, didn't he? So
very briefly.
Do they run something like Finn, Dom, and Liv versus Priest, Jey Uso, and Rhea at Bash at Berlin or something, like a mixed tag of some kind?
Yeah.
And then do Finn versus Priest at Bad Blood, Liv versus Rhea at Bad Blood. Because I feel like Bad Blood is where all the payoffs are going to happen.
Yeah.
Because after that, you got the Saudi show. That's where they want Yokozuna and shit.
Blood money.
Yeah. And then after that's War Games.
War Games.
So I feel like Bad Blood is going to be where payoffs happen. So Punk versus Drew, Liv versus Rhea, Finn versus Priest, maybe Roman versus Solo, something like that. All the kind of singular feuds just finish.
Yeah.
And then they can do whatever they want at the Saudi show, whatever the Saudis want. And then War Games is obviously going to be Bloodline versus Bloodline. What they do for the women's war games, no idea. But yeah, can you see something like that happening at Bash at Berlin, like a mixed tag?
Maybe not a mixed tag.
No,
I don't know if you really need that, because they tend to be sort of messy-ish.
I don't like them personally. No,
right.
Don't like them.
But I do think we're not going to see the end of the Judgment Day, because it's still going to be sort of Finn, Liv, Dom, maybe Carlito.
I think it'll be the end of the Judgment Day as we know it.
Yeah.
So no more Priest, no more Rhea, who were probably the two biggest parts of the Judgment Day, weren't they? The two leaders.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd like the fact this sort of puts Finn as a more central character now.
Yeah.
We love Finn Balor. I think Finn being a new leader of whatever this is going to be. Finn versus Priest match is going to be awesome whenever that happens. I'm looking forward to that.
I think so.
But Gunther is the World Heavyweight Champion. I'm excited to see what they do next. He's obviously going to be in Bash at Berlin. He's basically from next door.
Yep.
So he'll be going in as essentially a hometown hero. So he'll be definitely defending on that pay-per-view. So I'm excited to see what they do creatively to get a number one. I don't want a battle royal. I don't want a gauntlet match. I don't want any of that shit. You know, this is Gunther. This is a world heavyweight title. This title needs prestige. Give it a good story. You've got, how long have they got? A month. Long enough time to get something solid booked for Gunther. But yeah, we'll find out on Raw.
Yep.
And then the main event
was
Cody Rhodes, who had a long walk to the ring from his bus. His dog Pharaoh is retiring from television, which is
good for the dog.
Good for the dog, yeah. He's happy to be at home with the kids now, and he's 13 years old, bless him. And,
away from fireworks.
Away from fireworks, away from pyro. He's a good boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. We love Pharaoh. We love dogs. We love animals. So it's always nice to see animals on TV.
Yeah, as long as they're happy and safe.
Exactly. That's all we can ask for. He bumped into Arn Anderson.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that. I mean, I was expecting him back in WWE, but I wasn't expecting him here.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, he didn't hand him a gun.
No.
But I guess we'll wait for Netflix for that.
Just go shoot him.
Yeah. But yeah, big Arn Anderson on WWE television, which is a crazy thing to say. He mentioned that Cody has friends that are on their way that he might not even know about. I had no idea what he meant by that, because everyone's like, oh, it's Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. So I'm pretty sure he knows about them.
Yeah.
They've been friends on TV for years. Turns out it was Roman Reigns.
It was indeed.
Yeah. So Cody Rhodes versus Solo main event. I thought the main event was fine. I thought Solo actually looked good.
Yeah, no, it was really unexpected, actually.
It reminded me of NXT Solo, Street Champ Solo, who could actually wrestle.
Yeah. It's good that he's actually wrestling again.
Yeah, I think his him being forced into this character has kind of rubbed off on him the wrong way. And because we don't see him wrestle that much, and I think in the past when we have seen him wrestle, he hasn't really done much. But no, here he was busting out Samoan drops, Uranagis. He looked physical.
Yeah.
You know, he's not a terrible wrestler, and he's only 30. He's got 10 years left. I don't think him being in this character role has done him any favors whatsoever. But Tribal Chief's back now, so
yeah, maybe him being the new Tribal Chief was a bit much of a rocket.
Yeah, I said I felt sorry for him because, you know, he's not Roman Reigns, is he?
No, he is a solid worker, though.
Yeah, I don't hate watching Solo Sikoa matches. So this was Bloodline Rules. I like Bloodline Rules matches. Just kind of guaranteed chaos.
Telegraphing overbooked chaos.
Yeah, and I know you can say, oh, it's the same as a street fight. It's like, yeah, but, you know, with Bloodline Rules, you're guaranteed a certain thing, and that is, you know, tribal warfare.
Yeah.
And it's, like you say, overbooked chaos. And, you know, the WrestleMania main event was the most overbooked thing I've ever seen. I loved it. And sometimes that's needed for the big stage. So I do like Bloodline Rules matches, and Cody's 2-0 in Bloodline Rules matches now.
Yeah, the bloodline of 1-0.
Yeah. So Cody Rhodes won this match, by the way, in case you hadn't guessed. They had a steady match. And then we had the inevitable interference from the Tongans.
Yep.
Tangaloa botched again, which I was very happy. He charged Cody Rhodes into the rope instead of the turnbuckle, and then he pulled him back and did the spot correctly. I said to PW Bites, I said, this guy's got terrible depth perception with 2 eyes, so I feel bad for him with his depth perception with 1 eye. But no, Tangaloa is going to go down as probably one of the best botch compilations we've ever seen. So his name will be written in history for all the... I'm not going to say for all the wrong reasons, because I'll always love the man, just because of how funny he is unintentionally.
Yeah. He's entertaining, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't see him being with the company very long, to be honest. I don't think he adds anything in the Bloodline story, let alone when it's finished.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But we'll enjoy him we'll enjoy him while he's here. So Tama Tonga and Tangaloa come out and attack Cody Rhodes, and then we hear Kevin Owens music. Kevin Owens is back. I think we all expected Kevin Owens here.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens came out, clean house. And then Randall Keith Orton's music hit. I think we all expected Randall Keith here as well.
Yeah.
They fought into the crowd, and then it was back to Solo and Cody. Cody hit 1 crossroads, 2 crossroads, and then Jacob Fatu, which is what we were all waiting for. Jacob Fatu runs in the ring, does his Willow and the Wisp that Jeff Hardy does.
Whisper in the Wind.
Whisper in the Wind, sorry. Whisper in the Wind. And then hits a outrageous moonsault.
Yeah.
For a 2 count. And then Jacob gets pissed off. And this is where Jacob hurt himself. It looks like it is a legitimate injury.
Is it?
He's in a walking boot. It could be anything. Like if he sprained something, it'll be like a week. If he's obviously broken something, it could be months. So we don't know.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, because losing Jacob Fatu would be a massive blow. Massive blow. Yeah. So he puts Cody on the announce table and he goes to do his splash off the top to the outside announce table, which is always spectacular to watch. And as soon as he landed, he screamed and he held his leg, and I thought he was in character because he's always just so intense. And then he tries to stand up and he falls over and he throws the chair in frustration, and that's when you knew something was up.
It was worrying.
Yeah. I wonder if they had to call an audible here, because obviously Jacob's taken out now. If he wasn't taken out, I reckon we would have got someone like Jimmy Uso to come and counter Jacob Fatu.
Yeah.
Because obviously then we got Roman Reigns.
We did.
Great to see him back.
Yeah.
It's been 4 months. Yeah, great moment. And he looked great, didn't he?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, he looked great. He walked to the ring with a purpose. He had his new t-shirt, OTC, which is Original Tribal Chief. Somebody kept telling me it was over-the-counter medicine. He storms to the ring, and the commentary are playing off like, who's he coming for? Like it was fucking like the NWO at WrestleMania. It's like, who's he coming for? It's like, who do you think he's coming for? So he gets in the ring, Superman punch, spear to Solo Sikoa. A quick look at Cody Rhodes. And then Cody hits a crossroads. Game over, and Cody retains the championship. Again, I think it accomplished everything it needed to, even with Jacob Fatu's injury.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying, I don't get why Roman helped Cody. It's like, for me, I think the title is completely immaterial now.
Yeah.
Solo has dishonored the family tradition. And that is what's important now. That's all Roman cares about. You attacked my wise man. You've taken my title as tribal chief. I mean, in real life, I don't think they'll use this because obviously it'd be disrespectful. Roman's father's passed away in real life, and there are obviously real life transitions of title that happen when that happens in their family.
Yeah.
So it is a very important thing to that family in real life. So in storylines, Solo assuming that title that is not rightfully his is going to be a very disrespectful thing to the family in kayfabe. So that's why I don't think Roman was helping Cody. That's not the reason he went out there. He was punishing Solo. If it helped Cody, who cares? It's not important. So yeah, I think that's what we expected to happen. Roman's back. Roman attacked Solo. Roman's bloodline versus Solo's bloodline. I'm excited.
What we're expecting, and again, it goes back to what we said at the start. It was predictable, but it was still good.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Roman Reigns returning was predictable, but if he didn't return, it was sucked.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you want to do? Like, we're going to not have Roman Reigns and say, we got you. That would have sucked, and everyone would have been pissed off. Yep. So, yeah. Thumbs up from me. Very little I didn't like on this show. This show's not for everyone. No show's for everyone, so.
Yeah.
People like what they like, and that's the best thing about wrestling. But from my point of view, I was thoroughly sports entertained, and I'm a sports entertainment guy at heart. That's when I started watching wrestling. That's what got me into wrestling. So that's what I enjoy. Looking forward to Bash at. We got Bash at Berlin and All In the same week. Isn't that crazy?
Damn.
So All In is next up. Yeah, All In is in 3 weeks, and then Bash in Berlin is 6 days later.
We are spoiled.
We are spoiled. We are seated. We are ready. Let's have a look at the predictions, shall we?
Yeah.
So
how badly I got beat.
Cronus, for Liv and Rhea, you predicted Rhea Ripley.
I did.
I predicted Liv Morgan, and Jeff predicted Liv Morgan. So that's 1 for me, 1 for Jeff.
0 for me.
0 for Cronus. Bron Breakker. We all went for Bron Breakker.
Yep.
So that is a 2-2-1.
Yep.
What next? LA Knight and Logan Paul. We all went for LA Knight, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Okay, so that's 3-3-2. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre.
I think I went Punk on that one.
You did, yes. Me and I went Drew, and Jeff went Punk. Okay. Then we had Bayley, Nia Jax. Who did you go for, Cronus?
I can't remember, actually.
Jeff went for Bayley. I went for Nia Jax. I think you went for Bayley, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so. I should have written them down, really.
Priest and Gunther. You went Gunther, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Jeff went Priest, so none for us there. And Cody Rhodes. We all went Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes is obviously winning.
Yep.
Okay. The results are in.
Final
we have
scores.
Cronus on 4 out of 7. Jeff, 4 out of 7.
Mm.
And Zeus on 6 out of 7.
Nice. Nearly a clean sweep.
Nearly a clean sweep. Yeah, it was that Gunther Priest match, man.
Yeah.
Should have gone Gunther. But yeah, a win for Zeus. Yay! I won something.
Hey.
Yeah, I'll defend that title at Bash at All In. It'll be I think there'll be a lot more matches to predict on that show. Got a funny feeling.
Yeah. Oh, either way, that.
Yeah. But yeah, those were our SummerSlam reactions. I was very happy with the show. So
did what I had to do.
Yep. And I'm looking forward to Raw, and I'm actually looking forward to SmackDown for the first time in a long time. That's the effect of Roman Reigns.
Yeah, definitely.
Whew.
Something different.
Yeah, we made it through the torrid period of SmackDown without Roman Reigns or The Rock. So now we can. The Rock will probably come back around Survivor Series, and then we'll be in full speed towards WrestleMania.
Yeah,
comes around fast, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
crazy.
I'm probably going to go back to sleep.
Enjoy.
Yeah. But that was our reactions. Jeff has taken the weekend off, as we said. A.I.W will be back this week, but we'll be talking about wrestling tribalism.
Yes.
I wonder if this is going to have to be a multiple part episode. You know, there's a lot to talk about here.
Really?
I don't want to make a 4-hour episode.
Well, as someone who, as we said earlier, doesn't often sort of post or browse the social media that much, it would be an interesting one for me.
Yeah. It's there's a lot to talk about.
Thoughts on it, but
yeah,
observe it sometimes.
I think you're aware of the kind of stuff that takes place on social media. But yeah, we might make it into a multi-part special based on how long we get. If I'll probably run through some preparation. If I think it's going to go over 2 hours, I think we'll just do it in like hour segments or something.
The Great Tribalism Bash.
Yeah, the Great Tribalism Bash. We've also got top 10 wrestling theme songs, which is a lot less intense.
Yeah,
that's coming up.
Nice palate cleanser.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to release both of those probably Wednesday, Thursday this week. Cool. So yeah, we will see you guys then. Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah,
like, subscribe, give us all your money, etc. That'd be nice. One day, yeah, we're not monetized yet, but yeah, we'll see you guys on the next episode.
See you soon.
Bye.